Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to beat the Empires of the Undergrowth bonus demo level, The Promised Land, on impossible difficulty. To get to it, you just click Play, Arcade, Demo Levels, and The Promised Land. This level actually takes place in the rainforest, as opposed to the swamp, just because it was a demo level before the swamp was added, and actually it makes sense for fire ants to be in the rainforest because they're actually native to South America. They're an invasive species in the US, so they're not actually native to there. Alright, first thing we want to do is unearth all the food. You don't have to disable food in combat for the nest group, but I like to do that so they don't get distracted. I also like to harvest this food first because this is where I like to place my soldiers. And this way they can double duty planting eggs and collecting food. So yeah, the first thing you want to do is just collect all the food that's nearby. Don't bother making more workers until a little later on. We're not really going to need them until then. At this point I'm going to put the workers in the nest group. Fun fact, the first 7 workers you spawn with are called the crown workers. I think that's a thing in real life ant colonies as well. Now we're going to dig over here. We have 2 options here. We can go to the surface and fight the rove beetles, or we can continue collecting stuff underground. I'm going to actually go out and fight the rove beetles now. I'll actually turn off food gathering, because if I turn it on, then they're going to split up to collect food, and I want all of them to fight at once, because we only have 7 right now. They actually made this level a little easier. They added dandelion seeds, which give 10 food each, and they spawn pretty frequently. The rove beetle larvae only give 6 food, and you have to fight them for it. So this level is actually significantly easier than it started out, which honestly I don't really like, because number one, it's not the original level that was, you know, the demo level, and also it's a little too easy now, I think, but it's not a huge deal. You can actually kind of ignore the rove beetles. I like to kill them as fast as possible because they'll actually despawn after a couple minutes, but it's really not that big of a deal just because the seeds exist, the dandelion seeds, so it's really not that important to kill them, but I like to do it anyway out of, I guess, habit. Also, you know, every little bit of food helps. And you get these little guys, the grubs that drop 25 food, which is weird because you'd think they drop less food because they're smaller, but they actually drop way more. So that's a little odd. So what happens is the water will drain and then refill. And every time it drains, you'll get attacked by the bombardier beetles that spawn on these 3 islands. And your goal is to bridge to these islands and collect food, and then eventually you want to bridge all the way over to the Promised Land over here. I'm going to put a thing on the screen that shows exactly how many ants you need to bridge to each part of the level, each island, because I meticulously counted out exactly how many ants you need. So there's a couple options we have here. When the first couple waves of bombardiers show up, you can either just attack them as soon as they come in and try and just overwhelm them as soon as they enter the nest, or you can distract them by putting workers at the entrance to the nest, baiting out their spray attack, and then once they use the spray attack, you send your soldiers in to kill them once they've done that, because that way you don't have to sacrifice soldiers in the fight, because soldiers are slightly more expensive to respawn, and you'll be losing damage while you wait for them to respawn. Okay, I sent them in a little prematurely. That's not good. But I still baited out the attack nicely. That was just luck. Alright, so now more rove beetles are going to spawn on the surface immediately after you finish this wave. By the way, baiting the rove beetles' attacks, the bombardier beetles' attacks, only works for the first couple waves. After that, there's too many of them to do it properly. So at that point, you just have to kill them as soon as they come into the nest, before they have a chance to group up. I always forget to dig out this chamber here, but it's important, so try not to forget that. Because it's only got 4 Devil's Coach Horse larvae. I actually like to call the Devil's Coach Horse larvae Devil's Coach foals, because foals are the name for baby horses. Oh, and by the way, dandelion seeds will fall on the lower level when there's no water there, and they're actually worth 12 instead of 10 food. So it might be worth going there before the water rises to collect the food. I'm not gonna do that right now, though. So yeah, rove beetles spawn after every wave and every time the water level rises. And they will despawn after a couple minutes, so I do recommend killing them because you do get a decent amount of food. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it does help. So basically the idea for this level is just make as many ants as you can, because you need a lot to bridge, and there's no point in upgrading, especially since you can't upgrade to level 3, which is really the only time that upgrading fire ants is actually helpful. Alright, while these guys are doing their thing, I'm going to start digging out some of this area. Did I say while the fire ants are doing their thing? They're all fire ants. While the soldiers are doing their thing. We will want more workers soon, just to make nest duties a little faster. There's literally 1 food here. I'm still going to get it because it bugs me if I don't. Ha, bug. That's not funny. Alright, time for another chamber. Where do I want to put it? Just grab that one real quick. There we go. 10 food is actually pretty good for 1 unit. For context, that's as much as aphids give you. The aphid farms, rather, not the ones that spawn on the little plants. I don't know why they added 2 types of aphids. Maybe that's because there's multiple types in real life and they just wanted to do that. Maybe they figured they just needed another food source in that level. I don't know why. So, you need 30 ants to bridge over to here. Roughly 30. How many? 33 to get over, just to bridge over here, but then you'll have none left over to actually cross the bridge. So, don't bother doing that until you have more than that. Ideally, at least 43, because then you'll have 10 ants to cross the bridges. Tenants? Haha, stop. That's, no. I'm really good at bad jokes. Maybe I'm bad at good jokes. One of the two. Maybe both. Probably both. Hey, what's this guy doing here? By the way, when you're digging out the underground areas, be careful not to... be careful to time that properly so you don't end up having to fight rove beetles and bombardier beetles, which might happen here because I wasn't planning properly. So usually I dig out this area, then this one, then this one, then this one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one. Oh, and then finally this one eventually. Although at that point, I usually have access to the other islands that have lots of grubs on them. Both this island and this island both take about 45 ants to get to. I don't remember exactly, but it takes a lot. So, but they do have more food on those islands. So you get 2 bonuses for reaching those islands. Number 1, you get the extra food from the larvae, but number 2, you can also spawn kill the bombardier beetles and kill them one at a time, or at least a few at a time, so you can thin their numbers before they all enter your nest at once. So it's actually pretty helpful. See, we managed to kill that guy before he even got a spray off. Same with that guy. And that guy, that's nice. Is there another one? Nope, that's a rove beetle. Okay. Alright, well, we're gonna dig this out here now and head outside while we wait for our ants to get there. could go over here, and we probably should, honestly, but I can't be bothered, and it probably won't make a difference. So, the general idea for this level is you want to bridge fast, like as soon as you can. I'm pretty close to being able to bridge over. I generally don't bridge unless I have enough to make it all the way to the grubs, because, I mean, I can thin out the bombardier beetles, but that costs food and doesn't really give you much in return. You need a lot of food, so I prefer just dig out areas underground to collect food at that point. I love how it has the harvest music, because that's my favorite music in the game. Gonna go ahead and select this to be dug out right now. Save time. Also gonna dig that out. So I should actually keep my combat ants here. I keep forgetting that they're called soldiers. I'm bad with names and words. And if you've watched my channel at all, then you will know that. I still have about a minute or so before the rove beetles start despawning on the surface, so I think I'll be okay. I know it's only one food, but it bugs me if I don't get it. Ha, but I already used that joke. Man, there's a lot of food here. Why is there 15? Did I kill something? I don't remember doing that. They're just wiggling back and forth because they don't know what to do. Indecisive ants. You don't have to make your brood chambers very fancy. They don't need to be a specific size or shape. I just like to make hexagons because it's nice. Although eventually we will have to stop making hexagons just because we'll run out of room otherwise. And we're going to need a lot of ants. You need about 250 to get to the promised land. I tried to count them exactly, but it's really hard when there's that many. And also I had ants crossing the bridge as well, which made it difficult to count. Alright, so now we're going to collect this food while we dig out this area. Should have enough time. You only have access to vigorous fire ants here, not pervasive, but that's okay because they're actually just stronger. The extra speed alone is a massive help, but they also have 50%. They have 50% speed, damage, and defense for 2 whole minutes after they spawn, which is pretty incredible, honestly. Because often ants don't even survive past 2 minutes. So this is as many food tiles as we're going to make. This is why I kept these blocks here, to make it easier to upgrade them. And once we upgrade all the ones we can, that'll be our food storage for the whole game.
The battle has begun.
Good, bless me. Let's also start digging this out here. I like to just dig right up to the place where the enemy ants will spawn in, or right before the chamber opens. So that way I have, once I do want to dig it out, it's a lot faster. Oh, I still haven't put a block there. That's odd. See, after wave like 2 or 3, you just want to camp the entrance. It's too dangerous to not do that. Because otherwise you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bombardier beetles attacking you all at once, and they'll all time their sprays differently, so you really can't just bait them out. Just want to kill them as soon as you can so they don't group up.
The ants will fight.
Unfortunately, that guy got a spray off. That's not great. Maybe turn off food gathering so they don't get distracted trying to harvest the beetles. Oof. I'm losing a lot of ants. This is not good. Normally it doesn't go this badly. Okay, I'm losing a ton of ants. This is very bad. Looks like I'm just barely going to be able to make it, though. That was close. Alright, time to put food gathering back on. I'm going to wait to open that until I have more ants respawn, because it's kind of dangerous. Let's actually go up here. I think I have enough time to do that. We'll have to get in a few fights along the way, but I think it should be okay. These guys are fast. Just one of these things is enough to respawn 4 dudes, so even if you lose some, it's generally worth it. This is where we stop making nice little hexagon chambers. So I think now that I have 46 ants, I'm going to start trying to bridge. Because you want to bridge as fast as you can, because that gives you a massive influx of food. It may not even be worth it to try to unearth all the underground chambers, except, well, you'll probably need them for extra space. So, yeah. Well, maybe not this one. Now, these guys generally go in a pattern. They usually go from here, up to here, then over to here, then back down to here. So if you camp, like, here, then usually they'll all end up coming over to you anyway, so you don't have to move around too much, which is nice. Make sure that you put the new brood in the proper chamber. Okay, there's no I keep calling them that. No bombardier beetles here. Usually there will be one island that spawns almost no bombardier beetles. It doesn't seem to have that much food on it, though, which is a shame. But that's okay, because we'll get some, at least. We'll get a fair amount, actually, quite a bit. One charged up, vigorous firing is enough to actually kill, almost enough to actually kill an entire rove beetle larva by itself, which is pretty impressive. Alright, now we're going to start digging out more underground, because I think that's more worth our time than trying to get to the other side, especially since we only have 49. That's not enough to actually reach either of the islands and still have enough left to actually collect them properly. And don't use all your food at once, keep a couple hundred for respawns. I'm very spend happy, I guess. So the green rove beetles do more damage than the blue ones. Well, they're blackish blue, bluish black, something like that. They do more damage, their spray does a lot more damage over time, but the blue ones make your ants flee. So in large numbers, the blue ones are actually worse, because they don't share a cooldown, each one has its own spray cooldown. So they'll end up all, being able to spray just repeatedly just because there's so many of them. So your ants will constantly be fleeing and they won't be able to get close enough to actually deal any damage. So even though they do less damage, in large groups they're basically invincible, which really sucks, honestly. Unless you have wood ants. Wood ants, because they have the range attacks, the melee ones will keep fleeing, but the ranged ones shouldn't. So that's pretty helpful. Collect those once the beetles finish. There's no point trying to collect them now because there won't be as many because the water's just receded. Now that I have this many ants, I should be able to bridge to at least this island. Well, I can definitely bridge to that island, but I can probably get to those ones as long as we don't get too many beetles spawning there. Yeah, all the seeds that fall down here give you 12. Again, I think that's a little bit overpowered, but I mean, when I first played this level before that happened, I was having trouble beating it on medium difficulty, so maybe it is good that they made it a little easier.
The ants will fight to the death.
Wow, we can kill them fast if they all attack the same one. So that's good. Also, when you want to bridge, you kind of have to kill all the rove beetles in the surface, or they'll distract your ants and make it hard to bridge. By the way, don't put all your ants in one. Don't connect all your brood tiles together, because the more ants you have in one brood tile, the slower they will be to transfer to a new area when you tell them to. So you'll notice, see how this number's going up? This number represents the amount of ants that are at or currently heading towards this destination. And when you place a new one, you'll notice that the number goes up at the same speed, regardless of how many ants are actually in that chamber. So if you have 3, then you'll notice that... Okay, bad example. It's because those guys are busy. Let's take this. If you do this, then you'll notice that it fills up pretty quickly. But if you have all of these guys, then it'll take a while for it all to fill up. And so a bunch of the ants will stay behind for a little while. So you want to have roughly the same amount of ants in each chamber. Alright, it's time to bridge. Oh, never mind. We got more rove beetles to deal with. Once you have, like, 50 plus ants, you might want to start making multiple chambers. I usually have about 50 in each chamber. I don't have too much more than that right now, so I'm putting them all in the same chamber. Until I get more. Alright, let's start expanding these out a bit. Also want to expand my food storage. By the way, if you do have 2 chambers, you may want to just send one across and then wait for it to fill the bridge, then send the other one across, because they're not going to... Because that way the bridge will only be made up of ants from one chamber, so that you can tell all the ants from the other chamber to leave. Because the ants will only start leaving the bridge to go somewhere else if there's enough... if all the ants in front of them are already also not on the bridge anymore. So if you have a mix of ants, then you won't be able to get all of them from the same chamber to move at once, and you'll have to move both chambers back in order to dismantle the bridge. These guys aren't doing that well, but this looks like the last guy. Alright, excellent. Let's go over here and collect some food. We may have enough time to get over here, but I doubt it. I could try and go there now, but I've already spent time on this, so it'd be a waste. And the water's going to be draining soon, so yeah, it's not a good idea. I doubt I'll have enough time to dig out this area, but I'll try and do that soon. Both of these have the same amount of rove beetles inside, 4, and but this one gives you more food, so it's best to do that one first. Even though it sort of seems like it would be the final chamber, just because it has so much food behind it. So now I'm going to start expanding the chambers, so each one is going to have more ants in it. I usually end up with like 50 ants per chamber, or per wadjet here. Again, make sure none of the tiles connect. If they do, you might want to actually delete those. I like to count the bombardier beetles just because I got arithmomania, but you don't need to do that. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4... No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not too bad. We'd have 11, but I killed the other 3. Would be kind of nice if they went a little faster. Just because I get impatient. They're going to come here anyway. I don't need the extra time to prepare. Got 77 ants. That's good. We need 250 to win the game. But once we hit about 100, we should be able to easily collect all these, so we shouldn't have much problem killing the beetles. Turn off food gathering. Probably won't make a huge difference, but it might help. Yeah, see, there's like 4 coming in at once. You really can't bait out those attacks. Just want to kill them as fast as you can. Now I will turn food gathering on. There's not even any dandelions here. That's odd. By the way, if you send your ants over to these islands before the water rises, you don't have to build a bridge. But then there will be some down here that will die when the water rises, and you still have to build a bridge to get back, so it's not really worth doing that. I know I said I was going to do this, but I'm thinking it might be a better idea just to bridge. Nah, let's do this. These guys should actually bait out these dudes' attacks, so it shouldn't really be a problem. I mean, you don't really need to bait out these guys' attacks. They're not that bad. Not near as bad as the bombardier beetles. Sorry for the annoying sinus nose sounds. It's because my nose is always plugged up. Unintentional ASMR there. Annoying sinus noise. Annoying sinus microphone recording. That's what ASMR stands for. There's red dots there, that's just grubs. So don't worry about them. Okay, there's only a couple beetles here, and there's tons of food here. We're going there once we kill all these dudes. I know there's one left, but he's not. He's 6 food, and he's not even close to us, so we don't have to worry about that. Wait, there's only one guy here. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's usually a ton on 2 islands and very little on another. If they don't finish their spray animation, it won't actually do any damage, which is real nice. Now you do need enough ants crossing the bridge to actually fight off the rove beetles, because they will attack you. So you can't just send one in and have them kill all the grubs and collect food. You might not actually have enough time to collect all the food if you kill all the grubs. You really just need to kill all the rove beetle larvae, and then you can just collect all the grubs that you've managed to get up to that point. Let's start making another chamber. Yeah, we're not going to have enough time to collect all this, but that's okay. We can do that on another wave. If an ant is on one of these islands when the water lowers, it will die. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure you don't let that happen. Once these 3 are finished collecting, I think I'm going to have them all go home. Yeah, each one of these is worth 25 food, so that's quite a bit. Once I finish upgrading the food storage, I'm going to go ahead and dig out these tiles. Yeah, watch this. So the water goes down, the bridge ants fall down, and everyone else has to take the long way around. Which isn't that big of a problem, usually. There's a lot of these dudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's quite a bit. I've got 94, so that's like, what, 5 for each? I don't know, I'm bad at math. This is where I want to start splitting up the tiles. Or the brood chambers.
The ants must defend themselves.
Also, you can have them doing separate jobs as well if you have this many. In fact, I'm going to show you something. The row of beetles always come from here or here, both actually. They come from here and here. So if you have 2 chambers, you can station 1 at each entrance and just spawn kill them. Oh, it's great. Should probably make a few more workers as well. I generally like to make thin lines of workers in between all the soldier tiles. It takes a couple seconds after the water rises for you to be able to place pheromone markers over here. We'll actually camp here so we can kill as many of these guys as possible as they spawn. Oh, right, I forgot about the row of beetles. Gosh darn it, that's going to be annoying. And well, I'm sure I'll be fine. That guy sprayed almost instantly. That's not great. Okay, maybe this isn't such a good idea. I don't know how well this is going to work. Spawning a little faster than we can properly control them. Okay, it looks like we're getting back in control. That's good. So once these guys stop spawning, we'll head over to the island and clear that up. So yeah, we're taking away a significant number of the enemies that are going to attack us here, which is pretty good. We're at 100 ants. That's almost half the way there. That's pretty good. Start digging this out because we're going to need all the room we can get. Still haven't collected that yet, but we will do that later. Alright, I think we can head here now. Hopefully we'll have enough time to collect a good amount of food.
The ants must defend themselves.
Probably time for some more workers as well. Why is there a big gap in the bridge? And why do we need to put ants over here? That's not necessary. After you kill all the offensive beetles, the ones that'll fight back, you might want to actually turn combat off just so you can collect food instead of wasting time killing grubs that you're not going to be able to harvest. And it's time to head back. And there we go, we're fine, we're safe. We're going to collect this food next. It's been sitting there for a while and we need to take care of that. $130 ants. That's at least half of the way there. I think it's 5 ants more than halfway. So that's cool. We should be able to take down all the beetles pretty easily now. Watch me die after I say that. Alright. these guys here. These guys here. See, these guys are heading right back up here, so we don't need to bother moving them. Moving these guys to go chase them. For the most part, they're a little off the beaten path. Is that all of them? Seems like it. Let's go. Ideally, you want a ton of ants to arrive here at the same time so they can swarm these beetles and hopefully kill them before they get a spray off, unless they do it instantly. Like that guy did. Sort of trickling in, but I think we can do this. Especially when that guy's hiding over there, but he probably won't be for long. They'll prioritize fighting over collecting food, usually. So if there's food and an enemy next to it, they'll generally ignore the food and go for the enemy. Most of the time, not all the time. Man, they're just shredding these dudes. You see how fast those health bars go down? That's great. Okay, doesn't look like any more spawning, so we'll head here. We'll also actually turn combat off for this group, so they can focus entirely on getting food while the other guys clear out the enemies. Probably not going to be able to collect all this food, which is a little annoying because it's going to bug me just leaving it there. But oh well, not much to be done about that. Let's turn combat off for these guys now that all those dudes are dead. Oh well, one guy's still alive, doesn't matter. Alright, time to head home. Gonna make a third chamber. Oh yeah, turn combat back on before you fight the bombardier beetles. That's probably a good idea. Just a bit of advice. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, that's not bad, because we killed like 20 over here. Yeah, at this point I think we got this level in the bag. Actually, we're going to start digging this out now, because by the time it's finished, this should be finished as well. Because we got to wait for the ants to get over here, dig this out, then we got to wait for these guys to come all the way back. And we can just leave one group here to deal with them while the others go out and adventure and stuff. Not going to bother with these seeds. Don't need him, don't really want him. Alright, hang on, I'm being paged. Alright, we good. Yeah, see, that took forever for this to finish. You're harassing my workers. Uncool. That's not very cash money of you. Where'd that phrase even come from, and what the heck does it mean? Like, for one thing, where does cash money come from? All money... Cash is always money, that's what that means. I mean, technically it refers specifically to paper money, but whatever. Oh, I didn't put the third marker there, let's do that. Yeah, we have a ton of ants, I think we'll be fine. Just fine. Alright, turn combat off for these two groups. The other groups will be doing the fighting. I'm really hoping I can collect all these grubs just because it'll annoy me if I don't. We only need 50 more ants, roughly, to get to the promised land. That's pretty good. Oh, don't spend too much food. Do not spend too much food. Alright, we're getting close to getting all the food. That's good. That's very good. Unfortunately, you have to spawn more food every time, so it gets harder and harder. Uh-oh, out of food. Space, storage space. Alright, let's take everyone back now before they get drowned or killed. They'll actually get the confusion effect and then run around for a bit until they die. I don't like having more than 3 groups just because it's too much. Alright, we should be able to actually make it to the promised land after the next wave. So that's good. I would love to collect all this food, but unfortunately that's just not possible. Unless we make the level longer than it needs to be. 240, we just need a few more. Where do we put them? Let's put them here. There we go. And that should be enough food, enough ants, enough everything. And we're gonna need them with all these beetles. So you have to get enough to make a bridge to the promised land, then get at least 10 ants there. And then also the queen. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31!
Must defend themselves.
32, 33! That's a lot of ants. Oh my goodness, turn combat back on, you fool. You absolute idiot. And put the ants over here, you dunce. I did not prepare for that at all. I'm so smart. I might actually lose because of this. That would suck. Well, we have like 250 ants. I think we should be okay. Yeah, make sure you're actually paying attention while playing the game. That's important too. I don't actually need more food, so I'll turn off food collection. Yeah, maybe pay attention when you're playing this game. That's important. I know I didn't have very many, like, actual tips. It was mostly just do what I am doing, and you'll probably win. And I know that's not super helpful, but trying to balance these out as evenly as I can. Nope, that made things worse. Oh my goodness, I can't do this. Close enough, good enough. Good enough for government work, as they say, because we all know how good that is. You can use workers to make bridges, but you need like 3 or 4 times as many to make a bridge the same length as with the soldiers, so it's not really worth it. Just for fun, let's put these guys in this group as well. Send everybody out, absolutely everybody out. It's fun seeing them all conglomerate towards the nest entrance. Look, they're walking over the water, that's kind of funny. And there we go, we've got all the ants over here. That's a good screenshot. I'll probably use it for the thumbnail. I love this little victory jingle they have. It's so nice. Let's see what our score is. 63,485. 46 minutes, that's pretty good. Normally it takes like 50 or more. So that's the Promised Land and how to beat it. Hopefully I'll have videos on my second video on the Harvest and a video on Frontlines soonish. Frontline will probably take a while because it's very difficult. But that's this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know if it was or wasn't, and how I can fix it if it wasn't. So that's it. Have a good day. Bye.